In this video, Katia will show you how to create a never-ending album. Hello, I am Tina from Victoria Designs, and if you like herbs and good witches, you're going to love our Witch's Garden kit. Looking through this kit is like visiting the garden of a good witch. It is not Halloweeny at all. And Katia has created a tutorial with these printables to make a never-ending album. When you think you've come to the end, you can just start again. Katia has many great tutorials on her channel, so be sure to check them out, the link is below. Like always, you can also use our other large kits or other scrapbook paper to make this project. And you can use the printables from this Witch's Garden kit to make many other craft projects. All the measurements Katia uses will pop up on the screen, but if you like a handy PDF with everything neatly in a row, you can opt in via the link in the description to get that PDF for free. For more information about these printables, you can check it in my Etsy shop, the link is below as well. And now here's Katia. Enjoy.
Okay, so let me show you the project that we'll be making and then we'll get going. So we've got a magnetic closure here. Open that up, and on the first page a little ribbon pull, and this opens to the side, and then this opens to this side, and room for journaling and photos or memorabilia. And then over here we've got a pocket with a flap. And this insert for the pocket keeps it closed. And then over here we've got a magnetic closure on this little flap, and it opens to the side like that. And then once more. Over here, this folds down and then open, and then this goes up. And this is a little tuck spot here that you can put a tag in. Then the next page, so these 4 flaps all open with a couple journaling pages, and then these are all blank for journaling. And get to that part, and then it opens on the other side. So this is just one of the journaling cards. We've got a ribbon here. So we've got a little mini journal here. And then it ties back up with this ribbon. And then on the next page, we've got 2 little magnetized flaps here with pockets inside. And there's definitely room for more little things in there. I just put the one thing in there. This opens to the side and then rotates out of the way, and then this opens up. And then over here we've got another large swing tab, and then this opens and we've got a nice big pocket here. And this magnetizes back into place. And then over here is the other back side. All right, and then it closes back up, and we've got 1 magnetized flap that comes this way and 1 magnetized closure that comes this way. And then it looks like that. So when it's all the way open, it looks like a zigzag. Okay, so let's go through all the materials that we'll need for this project, and then we will get going. All right, so for adhesives, you'll need some score tape and wet adhesive. You can do it all just with score tape, but I like to use both score tape and the wet adhesive together. It just makes a really, really strong bond. For adding the pattern paper, I use my ATG gun, but you can use just score tape if that's convenient for you. We'll need some scissors, magnets. I haven't counted how many I used. These are 1mm by, I've got some 8mm and some 12mm here. So I'll kind of use a combination of both of them for no reason other than this is kind of what I have left. I would guess it's about, I don't know, I used about 30 magnets, but you probably don't need to use a magnet in every place that I do. Ruler, of course your paper trimmer. We'll need some ribbon for the closure, okay? I'm just using a coordinating gross grain ribbon, but whatever ribbon you happen to have is great. You'll need some white cardstock. I'm using this is just a 65-pound white cardstock. 80-pound would also work. I'll have to look up the GSM for this and I'll put it on the screen. I used about 20 sheets of 8.5 by 11 inch size. And then you'll need your scoreboard with your bone folder and scoring tool. And you'll need a piece of medium weight chipboard for the cover. And then of course you will also need your paper collection. So I'm just gonna go through that with you now quickly. I didn't print out every piece because there's a lot of pages in this collection. So I printed out a few of the ephemera, like cut apart kind of pages. This one's really pretty with the decorative borders. Got a few pockets and tags there. And then I'm going to be using, there's 3 sizes of journaling pages, so I'm using the middle size that has a bit of a border around it. So I printed out a bunch of those. Let me just do it this way so you can see them. So some gorgeous imagery of like little cottages and mushrooms and books and candles and all kinds of things that you know, someone might use in some spell casting. So green witchcraft, a lot of tinctures with plants. I also printed out a few of the smallest size of the journaling pages. So I just did a few of those. And then we've got the full sheets that have some like repeating patterns on them, and some have just full images. So I'll definitely be using these for the covers. I haven't decided which ones yet. And then they have the solid prints as well. Oh, they're kind of mixed in here. I'll definitely be using this one with the black cat. So some of these are, there's another repeating pattern, and then some of them are horizontal as well, so you can use them, you know, whichever way you would like. Another one of the pretty repeating patterns with the flowers. And then these are perfect because your eye needs a place to rest, especially when the images are really busy. So I printed all the solid ones twice, and everything else I printed once. Oh, here's another. These are all mixed up. I just got them printed, so sometimes the printer gives them to me in a little bit mixed up order. Another patterned one. Okay, so I think that's it. The rest of them are just repeating. Yeah. Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna clean up my workspace and then we will get going. So just a note before we begin, I work in inches, so I'm going to be saying all of the measurements in inches. I will write the centimeters down on the bottom of the screen here for you, okay? But yeah, I will say it in inches. So for the base pages, we are going to need 6 pieces of cardstock that are 6.5 inches by 8 inches. And then we'll need 1 that is 5 3/4 by 8. Okay? Set the one that's the smaller one, set that one aside. For the other 6, we are going to score them. So every one of those 6 is going to be scored at 1/2 inch and at 3/4 inch. Okay, so score all 6 of those at 1/2 and 3/4. Okay, fabulous. You can put your scoreboard away for a moment. We are going to put score tape on the 1/2 inch section of each one of those. Okay, so make sure that it doesn't touch the score line itself. Sorry, the light in here is not very good. Let's see. Okay. Because you don't want anything sticky right on your score line. If you hear rustling at all, Zuri, my cat, one of my cats, is in here helping me, so he might be rustling around. He might jump up at some point, who knows. He just likes to be here with Mama. He's very much a mama's boy, aren't you, buddy? Are you mama's boy? Oh, I think I missed one. Nope, maybe not. Okay, perfect. So once you've got all of those with score tape on them, we are going to trim off a little bit of each corner. So we're just going to miter the corners. This just creates a cleaner fold. Oops. I'm going to do 2 of them at a time. Okay, so you're just going from where the score line starts, just at an angle, to the edge of the page. Okay, get rid of all those little bitties. Okay, and now we are going to fold all of those score lines. Use your bone folder to crease them really well. Do that to all 6 of them. Okay, fabulous. Now we are going to put them together alternating. So take one of the pieces, remove the score tape backing, add a little bit of wet adhesive, and adhere that to the very edge of your second piece. Line it up as straight as possible. And then the next one is going to go on the very edge of the first one that you just put down. Okay, and then the next one's going to go on the edge of that one. So we're just going to keep putting it onto the edge, alternating sides there, until you go through all 6 of them. All right, so once you've got all 6 adhered together, you should have something that looks like this. You have one that opens like that. And then you've got one open 1/2 inch section on one side, but then it like just kind of keeps going. So you've got this perpetual album. Okay, so that small piece that single small piece is going to adhere to that 1/2 inch section that we have left on the back. Okay, so this is what it should look like on the sides. Okay, so you've got open, 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 and then a single here, and then it opens the other way and ends with a single. Okay, perfect. So set that aside for a second, and we're gonna work on our covers. I'm just going to show you a top view as well. So that's what you've got. So now we need 2 pieces of chipboard that will be our covers, and they are 6 1/4 inches by 8 1/2, and you need 2 of them. I've already got adhesive on the back of them, so put some score tape on the backs, and then we're going to cover them with 2 pieces of cardstock that measure 8 1/4 by 10 1/2 inches. Okay, so we're going to remove our tape backing. I'm not adding any glue to this one just because it is going to wrap all the way around our cover, so it's already got some extra support there. Just gonna do the other one while I have it here. So right down in the center of the cardstock. All right, now we're gonna put some score tape all the way around the perimeter of each one of those. Okay, and now we're going to miter the corners again so we can fold this around. So I'm going to cut in until it hits the kind of the corner of the chipboard, angle my scissors a little bit, and then cut out. So it's not straight across, it's got a little bit of an angle there. I'm going to do that at each corner. Okay, and now we are going to wrap these around. I'm just going to kind of give them a little fold first, just to help them to stay once you take the score tape off. Okay, fabulous. Now I am going to add just a little bit of a wet adhesive to each of these. I like to give it a little bit of a extra crease with my bone folder here, and do that to all 4 sides. Okay, and the last side. Okay, so once you have both of those done, we are going to adhere them to the front and back covers. Okay, so I'm going to put the adhesive on the actual cardstock itself because it's just a tiny bit smaller than the chipboard. So I'm going to put some score tape and some wet adhesive on each of these. I'm just going to kind of go around the perimeter. Okay, I'm going to do a couple across the center. Okay, and add a little bit of wet adhesive. Okay, and make sure you don't have any like gobs of adhesive. Kind of smooth it out just a little bit with your fingers so there aren't any big lumpy bumpies in the paper itself. Okay, and then just center it onto your chipboard piece. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing with this side. Okay. All right, and again, just kind of opening it up so it's a little bit flatter and easier to adhere, and just put it into the center, as close to the center as you can. So now, when this is all closed up, this is what it looks like so far. And then it just keeps going. Perfect. All right, so that's what you've got. Okay, so now we are going to start with the pages. And it doesn't matter which one you start with, they both end up, you know, working. So, okay, so for page 1, we're going to need 2 pieces of cardstock that measure 6 1/4 by 8. Okay? And we are going to score each of them at half. So half and half. There's going to be a lot of 1/2 inch score lines, which is 1.2 centimeters. So if I don't write 1.2 centimeters, but I say 1/2 inch, you'll know that 1/2 inch equals 1.2 centimeters, okay? Because there's quite a few times where we do 1/2 inch. All right, so we've got our 1/2 inch on each of those. We're gonna put our score tape along the 1/2 inch section, and then we're gonna miter our corners. So it's kind of going to be like a bit of an assembly line for every single page. We're going to cut our cardstock pieces, score them, miter our corners, just like we did in the beginning base pages. Then we are going to fold and crease, and then we're going to put them onto our page. So it's going to be that order for every page. Okie dokie, here we go. So these are going to simply adhere to the left and the right of our inside cover. Okay, open that one up and we'll put this one and just make sure that when you put it on, it doesn't interfere with this gusset that you have between the two pages, okay? And make sure that this one, whichever one you have over top, can still close very well. Like it doesn't kind of overlap or anything like that. Okay, so there is a space between the gusset and just a tiny space between where that is adhered. Okay, and if you end up putting it a little bit too far over, you can just do a tiny trim on it if it doesn't close the way you want it to close. Now you can go right over left or left over right. It doesn't really matter. Okay, and we're gonna put one set of magnets. So going from the, I think I'm gonna have, which way do I want this to go? I think I'm gonna have the left going over the right. So I'm gonna put a little piece of score tape here. I'm gonna remove the tape backing. I'm going to put one single magnet here, and then I'm gonna let it find its buddy through the cardstock. And I'm gonna put another little piece of score tape on top of that magnet. And close it up. And now you've got a magnetized little thing. Okay, I'm gonna put some score tape over top of those magnets just so they stay put where I want them to stay put. All right, that's page 1. Okay, the pieces you will need for page 2. Our A piece is 6 3/4 inches by 4. Our B piece is 5 inches by 5 3/4 inches. And then we've got an insert, because A is going to be a pocket. So our insert is 5 1/2 by 7 1/4. We are going to score the A piece at 1/2 and 6 1/4 on the long side. And then we're going to rotate it and then score again at 1/2. So it looks like this. We've got some intersecting score lines. And then your B piece, we are going to score at 1/2 on the shorter side, the 5-inch side. And then the insert doesn't need any score lines. Okay, so get this out of the way. Add your score tape to all those 1/2-inch sections. Okay, miter the corners. So for the A piece, the top 2 are the way we've been doing it. The bottom, we're going to do it just like we did with the covers. So cut in until the score lines meet, angle your scissors a little bit, and cut out so that it creates just a little bit of a kind of divot instead of straight across. Do the same on the other side. And then your B piece, miter the corners on that one too. Okay, perfect. Get your biddies out of the way. Fold and crease your score lines. Excellent. Okay, bring your book back in. So this is going to go at the bottom of our page. So I'm going to remove the tape backing from the 2 short sides. I'm going to push the bottom so that it adheres just at the corner here on either side. Remove that bit of tape backing and add some adhesive, wet adhesive. Like that, and then put that down at the bottom of your page. Oh, you can make sure it's straight. Okay, and then your B piece is going to adhere to the top of the page. Okay, and it should just meet the pocket. If it's too, like if it seems like it's a little bit long, you might need to trim just a smidge off. I think I'm going to trim just a smidge off because you want to make sure that it meets the pocket but doesn't go over it. Mine goes over just a tiny bit. Okay. There, that looks better. Okay, so your B piece hits just the edge of the pocket but doesn't go over it, and then your insert is going to go in the pocket and it will keep the B piece closed. Okay, so here's your insert keeping the B piece closed. Okay, we're moving on to the third page. Okay, for page 3 you'll need 2 pieces. The first one is 5.5 by 8. The second one is 4.5 by 8. Okay, so we're going to score the first one at half on the shorter side, the 5.5-inch side. We're going to score the second one at half on the shorter side again, the 4.5-inch side. And that's it. That's all we need to do. Okay, so score tape, miter, okay, fold and crease, get rid of your biddies. These are all really simple page designs because I wanted this to be something that you could, you know, kind of make in a day, you know, in an afternoon. So I wanted it to be a fairly simple project and something that, you know, is very beginner friendly. Okay, bring back your book. So we just finished this one with the pocket. So flip it over and we are going to, you can either choose to have them opening to the left or opening this way, so your choice. I think I'm going to have it so that it opens to the right. So I'm placing my A right at the edge of the page. Oh, wet adhesive. And then the B is going to go right on top of the A, opening the same direction. Okay, for page 4, we're going to need 2 pieces. The first one is 8.5 by 5.5. And the B, the second piece, is 7 by 5.5. Okay, we're going to take the A piece and we are going to score it at half on the long side. Then we're going to take our B piece and we're going to score it at half on the shorter side, the 5.5-inch side. And then we're going to rotate it so that score line is at the top, and we are going to score at 3.5. Okay, so it looks like that. Okay, and now we're going to take, with the 1/2-inch section on the right side, we're going to cut along this score line and cut off that little bit so it looks like that. Okay, now we're going to add our score tape. We're going to miter our corners. Okay, like that. Get rid of the biddies. Fold and crease both of those score lines, or all of those score lines. So this bottom part is going to fold down, and then it's also going to open. Okay, so this is what it should look like. All right, so your A piece is going to go at the top of your page. So bring your book back in, and this is going to go right at the top of your page. Okay, so there is your piece A. And then your B piece is going to adhere to the right edge, centered top to bottom. Open up your A piece first before doing this one. Okay, so you can measure exactly if you like. I'm just going to eyeball it. That looks pretty good to me. Okay, open that up, close that down. All right, so now you've got a piece that opens like that and to the side, and then a piece that opens like that. Now we are going to put one magnet to close this down. All right, so I'm going to put a magnet on this front part here, kind of somewhere in this vicinity. Okay, and then I'm going to put a magnet on the back side of this and put a little bit of score tape on it. And close it up. So now it closes and stays closed to the base page. Okay, on the next two pages here, this is kind of page 5 and 6, we are going to cut 4 pieces that are 6 1/4 by 4. Each one of them is going to get scored at half on the 6 1/4 inch side. Okay, and then we're going to add our score tape as per usual. Okay, now we're going to miter all the corners. I'm going to do 2 at a time because they're the same size. Okay, now this one I want you to dry fit first. Let's get all this out of the way. Oh, we should fold and crease all of our pieces actually first. Because you might need to trim a tiny smidge off the 4-inch side because you don't want them to hit each other. They're going to be adhered to the outer edges of each of these pages. So like this and like this. Okay, but you want to make sure that they don't overlap each other at all. So kind of dry fit them first. Mine seem to be good, but just make sure that once they're adhered, they're going to be able to all open freely, and they're not going to be, you don't want one slightly over top of the other one and making it so that it doesn't open nicely. All right, and so that's what's going to happen here. They're just going to go on the outer edges. One above the other. Okay, and then put the other two as well in the same manner. Okay, so you've got 4 pieces that open up like that. And now I am going to put magnets on each one of these. Okay, so I'm adding 4 little pieces of score tape to like a little piece of score tape on each one. Let me just zoom you in a little bit here. Okay, so here, 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 here. Okay, I hope you caught all that because the lighting in my studio got really crazy there for a minute and I had to put up a curtain. Okay, so we've got all 4 of these pieces are on the outer edges of our 2-page spread here. I've got a piece of score tape here, here, and here, and here. Okay, I'm gonna remove the backing bits. Okay, I'm putting a magnet in each one of those spots. And another magnet finding its buddy on the back side. Okay, and now I'm going to add a piece of score tape to the magnet on the opposite side here and close them. Remove the score tape and close them all up. There's 1. There's 2. 3 and 4. So now all 4 of those are going to stay put. Okay, perfect. And that's it for that side. And now we're going to start on the next side. So I'm going to leave the inside cover of this one blank, because I'm going to have on this side, I'm going to do a little booklet of some of the mini journaling pages. So it's going to be a little bit bulky. So I don't want to add elements to this side because I'm going to have something bulky on this side, and I'll show you that as we decorate because that's going to be part of the decorating process. Okay, so flip open to the next page spread. This is technically page 8. Okay, so we'll get the pieces ready for that. Okay, for page 8, you're going to need 2 pieces that measure 4 3/4 by 5 and 2 pieces that measure 4 by 3. Okay, and let's get them scored. So your A pieces, we're going to score them at half on the 4 3/4 inch side. And then we're going to rotate them a 1/4 turn. So the top half-inch section, or the half-inch section is now at the top, and we're going to score again at half and 4 1/2. Okay, so it's going to be a pocket again. So do the same with the other one. Okay, and then the B pieces, I have already scored them because I didn't realize my camera had stopped. So on the 3-inch side, we're going to score them each at half. Okay, so both of those at half. And now we're going to do our next steps, adding our score tape. Okay, the other ones already have score tape, and then we're going to miter the corners. Okay, and you know what to do with a pocket now when we get to where the intersections of the score lines are. So in at an angle, out at an angle. Okie dokie. Fold and crease all of those score lines. Hope everybody's still with me. We're almost there. Through the construction anyway, then the fun part of the decorating begins. All right, bring your book back in. So these pockets are going to go, you can have them on the left or the right, your choice. But they're gonna go above each other. And then these little bits are going to go opposite to close the pocket, like that. Okay? Like we've been doing all along, remove that score tape and add a little bit of wet adhesive. Again, I'm putting the bottom half-inch section over top of the two sides so that they adhere in the corners there. I think I'm going to actually have mine facing outwards. Alright, like that. And now we're going to add magnets to close these pockets. So I'm going to put a little bit of score tape on the edge of the inside of these little flaps. I'm going to put 2 magnets on each of these. 2 magnets adhered, like magnetized together, and then another little bit of score tape. Okay, and then close them up. And then just make sure that the magnet lands so that it's got enough space that you can, when your pattern paper goes over it, it will actually cover over the magnet. All right, like that. Fabulous. Okay, so now we're on to page 9. Okay, so your A piece is 5 3/4 by 5 1/2, and your B piece is 7 by 5 1/4. Okay, we are going to score your A piece at half on the 5 1/2 inch side. And we're going to score the B piece at 3 1/2 on the 7 inch side. So right down the middle. Okay. So put your score tape on the 1/2 inch section of the A. And the B piece does not need any score tape. It's just going to fold in half like this. Okay, we'll miter the corners of the A. And fold and crease it. Okay, so the A piece is going to go at the top of the page. Okay, and then the B piece is going to go down here, but we're going to adhere it after we've added our pattern paper. Okay, so it's going to open like that, and then it's going to open with the A up like that, so it will be like attached to it. Okay, so we can add our magnets once we've got it attached to our page. Okay, so that's it for that one. So just keep that kind of tucked in there for now. And then page 10. So 2 pieces for page 10. We've got one that is 9 inches by 4 1/4. And the second one is 4 by 8. Okay, scoreboard once again. You're going to score the A at half on the 4 1/4 inch side. And then we're going to rotate it and we're going to make another pocket. So we're going to score it half and we're going to score it 8 1/2. If it makes it easier for you, you can just score it half and then rotate it all the way around and score again at half on the other side, if that makes it easier for you to understand. And then the B piece, we are just going to score at half on the 4 inch side. Okay, so once again, we're gonna do our dance of score tape and all the other moves that come along with it. So score tape, miter, fold, and crease. Okay, so the pocket is going to adhere to the left edge of the base page with the opening towards the right, and the B piece is going to adhere opposite that to close the pocket. So it's just a longer version of a kind of similar page that we've already done with the two pockets. All right, so that goes like that, and you could either do a swing tab here or we could do a magnet. I think I'm going to do a swing tab. Yeah, I think I'm going to do something in the decorating process for this one. And then the final page, you can either leave it blank or you can just repeat one of the other pages that we've already done. I haven't decided what I'm going to do here yet, but I'll just repeat one of the pages that we've already done. So here is our album. I'm going to do a bunch of the decorating, and then whenever there is something that needs to be shown, I will show that on camera, but the decorating is definitely what takes the most time. So I'm going to do some of it at least off camera. I'm going to move 2 of these magnets just a little bit so that they're not hitting these ones here, because I don't want them to kind of get stuck to each other. So I'm just going to move these ones down just a tad. There we go. Now they won't like interfere with each other when the book closes. Okay, fabulous. All right, so I will start decorating. I think I'm going to decorate from these pages. So like in the order that we did them is the way that I'm going to decorate, but feel free to, it doesn't matter which way you want to go actually. All right, so I'll be back in a bit once I've done some of the decorating. Okay, so I've got quite a bit of the pattern paper on. We're going to go through page by page and I'll do little bits of it with you and show you little things that I've done. Okay, so page 1, all I've done is taken a little piece of ribbon, doubled it over, and adhered it onto the edge of the page just so you have something to, you know, pull that page open with. And I'm going to put this piece on top of it because I love the cat, so I wanted to keep this one whole. Okay, so we'll just put this on. For anyone who is new to making albums and isn't quite sure how to do the decorative paper, just take whatever area you're wanting to cover and then measure a piece of pattern paper 1/4 inch smaller, both horizontally and vertically, and then that way you get this tiny little white border around it, which really makes the paper kind of stand out. Okay, and then we open this up and I've got one of the journaling cards with some green on it. This flower paper here, just with a little embellishment up there. And on the inside, I left quite a bit of it blank because I do want there to be places that people can, you know, write their thoughts or write about pictures that they're putting in or what have you. And for the decorating process, I mean, this is very personal, so you don't have to do what I'm doing. You can definitely do your own thing. I'm just kind of showing you what I'm doing. So I've got this like the brown kind of wood paper there, and then journaling cards on the insert. And then on the inside, I've left this top part blank, and then this is going to go in the pocket. I just wanted to show you that when you're putting something in a pocket, you want it to slide in at least a half an inch, maybe even 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so it's a little bit inside the pocket. You don't want it right at the lip of the pocket. You want it inside a little bit. And I also wanted to show you, I didn't have this in the materials list, but if you wanted to, you could ink the edges of your papers with like an ink. So I'm using like a Distress Oxide in Vintage Photo, but this is completely optional. But it does just give the papers, the edges, a little extra. And I just kind of take a dauber and just go along the edge like that. But that is completely optional. Okay, so let's put this in the pocket. Okay, so I'm just going to slide it in a little bit, kind of holding it so that it doesn't adhere until you have it in the position that you want it to be, and then adhere it down. Okay, close that up, put our insert back in there. On the next page, so here I wanted there to be something to close these two flaps. I've got this pattern paper on the front, the brown here, and then the insides are just left blank and then just green here. So I've got one magnet just on the edge over here, and then I've got one magnet on the edge of this little journaling card. Okay, but I thought that it needed a little bit of background so that it didn't get lost. Without this, it kind of just gets lost among there. So I decided I'm going to back it on this, and then I'm going to glue this half of it down onto the page, is my plan. Okay, so I'm going to glue this onto the green. And again, like all of these extra things, you don't have to do them. They're optional. You can not have anything closing these, or you could just put magnets on the back sides and close them the way we added all the rest of the magnets. Okay, I am going to ink the edge just a little bit just to give it that extra oomph. I just like the vintage look of it. Okay, so we're going to put that there, and I'm going to make just some kind of little mark so I know how much of this is going to be adhered. So I'm just going to keep my finger there and flip it over and then make a pen mark. Okay, so right where my finger is, I'm just going to make a little mark with my pen so I know that I will need adhesive all over this half of it, okay? Okay, so when this is on and we flip it open, we're going to have this blank. So I'd like to actually put some pattern paper on this half first. Okay, and I'm going to add one more strip of adhesive here because it did cover up some of where we had our adhesive. Okay, so we've got our magnet over here, so I'm going to let it magnetize and then make sure it's straight and adhere this part down. So now when we lift this up, we've got the brown on the back. Okay, and now we just need to cover up this magnet. So I'm just going to use one of the pieces of ephemera. I've got a whole bunch of them, well, all of them cut out here. So let's just find a piece that we like. Let's go with some little lavender. Okay, so I'm just going to adhere this little piece of lavender over top of that magnet just to hide it. Okay, and there we go. On the following page, I've got this just blank for journaling, and then this to match over here. I like the pages to be kind of cohesive. And then open it up like that. And then this goes up, got a journaling card there, and I've left this one blank up there. And then on the next pages, this is where we have all 4 of these flipping out. So I've done 2 with the brown, 2 with the flowers. I might add a couple little decorative elements to these little parts. The insides of the cards are all blank, and then I've got 2 of the large journaling cards there. And then we hit the other side. So on the inside cover, again, I love this cat, so I just left him blank there, so I didn't add any elements. It's just the cat double matted. And then here's where I wanted to add a little tiny mini journaling book. So I've used some of the mini journaling cards. I've just stapled them together. You can sew them together if you so desire. And then I've got a blank journaling card backed with the green, and I'm just going to put this right here, but I'm going to use some ribbon to keep it closed. So I'm going to use purple ribbon just to tie in the lilacs that are in some of the papers. If I can find the end, there we go. Okay, so I'm just going to cut a length of ribbon. And I'm going to glue it to the back side of my little booklet. So I'm just going to run one thing of score tape along the back side there in the center. I'm going to find the center of my ribbon. Okay, so I've got my ribbon there, and I'm just going to glue that whole thing down and then tie it up. So I'm going to glue it. I'm actually going to use score tape and a little bit of wet adhesive because I really want this to stay. Okay, so I'm just going to remove my tape backing and add some wet adhesive. Okay, make sure your ribbon ends are out of the way, and we're just going to adhere that into the center. And then we're going to tie it up. Okay, and get your bow to how you want it to be, cut off any excess. Okay, and then you've got a little booklet there. Okay, and then on the next page, this is the one with the double pocket. So I've got 2 of the little gazebos, I guess they are. Open it up, and just little bits of journaling cards there. And then I cut one of the small journaling cards apart, and that's what's going in the pockets. And you can put whatever you like in the pockets. You can put more in there if you like. Okay, and then over here, so we've got this piece that is going to sit right here. Now I decided I think that I want this to be a swing tab. If you don't want to do this, you can just do what we did on that other page where you adhere the top half of this to this piece and then it just lifts up like that. But I'm going to do a swing tab, I decided. So I've got one magnet on the front, one magnet that is like matching it on the inside. Okay, so I just let it magnetize to its buddy, put a little piece of score tape on, closed it up, and that's how that magnet got there. And then I've got another magnet on the back side. And I've got a little piece of score tape on it, and what I'm going to do is remove this tape backing, put this where I want it to be on the page, and let that last magnet adhere right down here. Okay, and now I'm going to put this onto the front. Okay, and now I'm going to open this up, make sure that it's straight, and I'm going to poke a hole through this. Okay, and then I'm going to take my pen, and where that hole, through that hole, I'm going to mark the patterned paper, and then I'm also going to punch a hole through that. And then get a brad. Now I hadn't initially, I wasn't initially going to do this, so I did not have brads as part of our list. And again, this is optional. Let me just find a brad here. Okay, so I'm going to put the brad through the card, and then I'm also going to put it through this piece up here. Okay, I'm going to open the tines on the back. Put a piece of score tape over those tines so they don't move. Okay, close that up. So now that is attached. It will open up like that, and then it will spin out of the way so that that will open. Okay, so now we just need to cover up this piece. So I want to use this journaling card, but it's not quite big enough for this space. Well, it's almost big enough actually. I might just do it like that. I was going to do a double mat, but there's, well, I've already got glue on it. I might as well use it. Okay, and then I'll put the journaling card on. Okay, fabulous. So that just swings out of the way to open, and now we just need to put a piece of pattern paper up here to cover up those tines. So I'm going to use this piece here, part of one of the larger journaling cards. All right, fabulous. Just like that. Okay, on the next pages. So I was thinking that I might end up doing another swing tab. All of a sudden I got in my head that I wanted to do swing tabs. So I've got this circle cut out on a piece of chipboard. I was thinking that I would do a magnetized swing tab. So I'm going to put a tiny bit of score tape on this side, the right side. And put two magnets magnetized together. Another tiny bit of score tape. Okay, and I don't have this down yet because I wanted to be able to cover up this magnet. So I'm going to put this where I want it to be. Right about there. So that's going to adhere that magnet. Now we can put this piece of paper down. Okay, and again, we'll let it find where we have it going, and then we're going to make a mark on this where we're going to punch our hole. Okay, so we've got our hole, and so we'll put this back with the magnet and making sure it's straight. We're once again going to mark where the hole is going to be on this piece. Okay, and now we're going to put a hole in our pocket. So just going to kind of put my hand in there and put my hand in there and punch a hole. Okay, and get another brad. Put the brad through the chipboard and then through our hole in our pocket. And then kind of just put your hand in the pocket to open up those tines. And now we're going to want to cover up those tines on the inside of the pocket. So you could just use a little piece of cardstock with some adhesive on it. I'm going to use a little piece of Tyvek just because I have some just handy with a little bit of adhesive already on it. But cardstock will also work. You just want something in there that's going to keep the tines from coming out, but something that's not going to interfere with, like, you don't want adhesive on the inside of your pocket, obviously, because then nothing will go in. So we're just going to cover up these tines. I'm just going to slide this in. Okay, so now when you close this, that magnetizes it closed, and then you can move it out of the way. And I don't have anything for this pocket yet, but I will get something happening. Okay, so I've got my chipboard piece. I've got two magnets magnetized together on there. I'm going to put another little piece of score tape on the back side of that magnet. I'm going to bring this back just to kind of give me a rough idea of where I want this to go, just to adhere that magnet right there. Now I'm going to get a piece of ribbon. Yeah, I think I'm going to use this green one instead. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere some of this ribbon to this piece of chipboard. So I'm going to get some score tape here. Okay, adhere my ribbon to it. Just make sure that you can't see any of the ribbon poking out to the top of your chipboard. Okay, I'm going to let it find its magnet buddy there, and then I'm going to pull this around. This is just to see how much I need. So I'm going to cut it right about there. Okay, and now I'm going to put some adhesive on the ribbon from here to here. Actually, I'll do it on the, maybe I'll do it on the back of this instead. So on this side, this is what it's going to look like. I have that, and then this is going to be my little my little tab. So, okay, so I'm going to put two little magnets on the back side of this. Okay, so two sets of magnets. little bit more score tape. And we're just going to do the same process that we did on the other side. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of get an idea of where I want this to be. Remove these out of the way and adhere that down. So we've got our magnets. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to put some score tape on the back side of this and add my ribbon. Okay, let that find its buddy. I'll remove that for now. And then flip it over so that we know where to put this. Okay, and then we'll put a little bit of score tape down here. Not perfectly even with the other one, but it's close enough. Okay, now we can put this piece back down. What did I do with it? Here it is. Okay, I'm going to add the little piece that I cut out here just so that it's not like just a blank piece of chipboard with the ribbon. So I'm going to add some adhesive onto the back of this. Okay, just like that. And then on the other side, now we can add this down. Okay, and then I think I'm going to back this on white as well, just so it kind of matches the other side. Okay, and then I'm going to add this to the back side of our chipboard over here. Okay, just like that. And then that attaches there. So that is our album. So I might just add a few more little embellishments and make sure all the pockets have something in them. But that is pretty much it. So I hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial. If you're watching this on my channel, I do have many other free tutorials available for you as well. So please check those out. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so. If you're watching this on the Victoria Designs channel, it'd be awesome if you come over to my channel, Lunar Sun Creations, and give my channel some love as well, because they're both amazing channels. All right. I hope you're having a beautiful day, and I will see you again very soon. Big hugs. Bye.